lounged out on your chair.
I know, this is fabulous. So I know it's kind of, we keep like changing locations on everybody.
Well, it's cold and rainy out today for a nice hot July day.
Yes, very much so. It's been like yesterday and today was just super humid for
Well, they're saying the monsoons are here early.
Oh, okay.
Like the monsoonal pattern or whatever. That's why we've gotten a lot of rain recently. I mean, look, all the fields are still green and stuff, and that's unusual for this late.
Yeah, it's nice.
So that's
well, I mean, we had all the fires early in the.
We did have several.
Or late in June, or.
But like really early in the season.
Yeah, so. I don't know, can you tell Sideshow Bob is sitting behind us? I know.
I love it. I love that burn.
But yeah, no, I don't know. Lots of good things this week.
Yes.
Finally something.
There are things to talk about.
Something popped out.
Something did pop out.
Something popped out finally. But I found it like it's funny how obsessed so many people were. With this, the royal baby.
Americans.
Yeah, Americans. The royal baby watch. I mean, we as Americans, we had some sort of a war or something, like a revolution or a civil, some British are coming to take our guns. I should probably listen to Sarah Palin a little bit more because she knew, she knew what happened.
Of course she did.
He's running through town. They're not going to take our guns or whatever. But anyway, so we tried to get away from the British, but now all we do is obsess about it.
Yeah, but ever since the war ended, they have been our closest allies.
Well, they have.
Period. They've stuck by us through thick and thin, and we've stuck through them, by them. So, I mean, I think all that stuff's in the past, and a lot of people, that's the closest thing we have to, that kind of royalty,
right.
And a lot of people think that's...
What are you talking about? We have Cher.
Yeah, well, we have gay royalty.
We have gay royalty.
But the rest of America may not agree with that. That's my thoughts on that.
I mean, it's funny that, it just is kind of funny that there's this king and queen and... and then they were making some kind of jokes of, if this baby grew up to be gay and ruled, and then there'd be a real queen that ruled.
That's funny.
It's like, why are they, already, the poor thing's not even 2 days old, and they're like, it's going to be a gay baby. Or,
I mean, it's
the
just
possibility
ridiculous.
of it being gay.
Who knows what it's going to be?
I mean, I just
think
it's,
good for them. They had a baby. People have babies all the time.
Yeah. So they did show a picture of, when they brought the baby out for the first time or whatever, and she still looked.
She still had the belly button.
Had the belly.
Well, of course.
I mean, it was 2 days later. But
it wasn't 2 days later. It wasn't even 24 hours later.
Oh, it wasn't.
Yeah, when she came out with the baby, it wasn't. It was more than 24 hours after she'd gone in, but it was less than 24 hours. The baby was less than 24 hours old when they brought it out.
Oh, okay.
I mean, not that I'm all into it or anything, but it kind of sounded like it from that.
It didn't even matter with this baby. It's like their wedding was a huge thing. I mean, there were people up at 3 o'clock in the morning to watch the wedding live.
The christening will be a huge thing.
Oh, the christening's going to be huge. And it goes all the way back to when Princess Diana got married, which I actually did watch that royal wedding.
I remember watching
the royal wedding because it was kind of the first in our lifetime, I guess, that there was this huge production, a huge production of a wedding, and then of course, then there was the Kardashian wedding,
right? Which topped them all.
Which I mean, I guess if some people may think that they are, American royalty, but
I don't think that at all.
I don't find them interesting.
The American royalty would be like the Kennedys or people from those kind of political families. Those are the dynasties.
That's true. Yeah, definitely.
In my opinion,
definitely the Kennedys. I think they were very much a royal.
Absolutely.
Family. We don't really have that kind of a family anymore. I mean, the Kennedys were a million of them that you knew of, because they were all in politics. They were all in something. They were the tabloids back. Right. In the 50s.
Well, 60s. Ted Kennedy ran that girl into the river or whatever, to the water, and
then
got away with it.
JFK killed Marilyn Monroe or Bobby or one of them did. That's what they say. Mm-hmm. That's what they say.
Yeah.
And then somebody had JFK killed
and RFK
and so it's just kind of it's very, very different, very, very different. But yeah, I mean, it kind of. Everybody's kind of laughing. All of a sudden, everything's just popping up. It's a boy on Facebook. Yeah. I'm like, huh? I was like, who? Where?
People were excited.
But I assumed that they knew it was a boy.
What do you mean?
Well,
I don't think they ever announced it, though. I don't know if they did or not.
I don't know if they knew or not. But I mean, it just seems like kind of that's just something that people do now.
A lot of people choose not to. We didn't.
Yeah.
We knew both times.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's good planning because then you're able to
Buy
buy whatever
things. Yeah.
specific things. I mean, you don't have to buy yellow, because I guess yellow's the neutral boy girl.
Ooh. I think red would be more neutral.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, yellow was when the last gift I had to buy for a baby shower. But actually, the last gift I bought for a baby shower, I bought a bottle of tequila and two mixers.
Oh,
Mixers because I figured the parents needed,
That's a great
they needed
idea.
a party afterwards, and I mean, they weren't pregnant anymore, so she could drink again.
Absolutely. Do a couple shots to loosen
actually,
up.
we had a Gaby shower.
You did?
Two friends of ours adopted, and this. Oh gosh, I guess it was a couple.
Is that what it's called? A Gaby shower?
I call it Gaby. I call it a Gaby.
That's funny.
So, that's what your children are. They're Gabies. Well, they're not anymore.
Gabies. No, now they're adults.
Adults. But yeah, no, that's what I just like, a Gaby. Like the Gasians.
The Gasians.
But,
Is it
yeah.
the Latinas?
Latina.
Latinos?
Latinas. Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know what that is. Just Gasian just works well. Well, that's like, I still don't like gay Americans. I think that sounds so stupid, but
Well, it's like African American or
Asian American.
Asian American or it's, whatever
Hispanic
American.
American, But yeah, it just sounds so cheesy and dumb. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, that was my take on the royal.
And then they named him, and he's Prince George something Lewis.
Okay, George Michael Lewis.
No, but I saw the meme on Facebook. I know we talked about it earlier, where it has Queen Elizabeth, and she's all excited, and or she's laughing, and somebody says they should have named it George Michael because it took so long to come out.
So yeah, I mean, was she overdue? I mean, I didn't really pay attention.
I don't know. I mean, I think she was due on the 20s. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if she was overdue. I know they were camped out for like a week before her due date.
Yeah.
I started seeing that on the news.
So now the Canadians. So we were speaking of the royal family again, when they were getting married, we had met a couple Canadian people at a resort we were at, and they were like so excited. But I didn't think Canada was under.
It's still a Commonwealth.
So it's a Commonwealth, but they're not under.
They have sovereign rule, but it's part of the British Commonwealth.
Okay.
Or, yeah, Great Britain or
they have
the Commonwealth. Like
Canada has a parliament.
And I think technically Australia is still part of their
Australia's
Commonwealth.
a Commonwealth.
But it's but they still have their own rule and everything. They don't. I don't know if they're even politically connected. To England at all. If it's more of just like a figurehead thing, just for the monarchy.
Oh, okay.
I really don't know.
Yeah, I don't know because we have like the British Virgin Islands and
the U.S. Virgin Islands.
Virgin Islands. So I couldn't tell you which ones were which.
Yeah.
There's a Saint something or other, and then there's
Saint Croix,
Saint Thomas, but I don't know which one is where.
Right.
But yeah, so I don't know. I really don't know. Who knows?
Who knows?
We'll
never know.
I don't research.
We could research. We could easily look it up, but we won't.
We won't. I won't for sure.
Maybe when I watch the episode, I will.
Yeah, and then
sometimes I do that. I'll be like, "Why don't we research?" And then I'm like, "Oh, I have to tell Sharon that," and then I always forget. It's the way that works.
But yeah, no, I don't know. That just history bores me. Maps are hard.
I like history and geography. I'm in, I'm going to school and I'm doing a natural science course right now. And it's very difficult.
Well, that doesn't sound
I just took the pre-quiz thinking that I was going to pass. Test out of it. Because I thought, I'm going to do so great on this because I watched so much Discovery and history and no, I didn't. I did
you
really
got
poorly.
Cocky. Yeah,
I did. So now I'm studying my ass off.
Yeah, so I'd actually, when I was back in school too, I had taken, I think it was a math class, and there were a few courses that I tested out of, but boy, there were a couple that I was like, I don't even know what this means.
Right.
I don't even know what you're trying to tell me here.
What is that symbol?
And why do I need to know this? I've been in the real world. I know I don't need to know this. Like, I'm not going to be a chemical engineer, or I'm not going to be a rocket scientist.
Yeah, it's
or
pretty
something.
weird.
I don't know. It's just kind of, it's one of those things that.
And when I hear this stuff,
I don't even know. I don't got good English.
I don't got English so good.
But and there was another N-word saying thing too. Like Ray Don Chong called Oprah the N word or something.
Why? Radon Chong.
Yeah,
she is
has
half
a book.
black, isn't she?
She's got a book or something she's trying to promote. So
she's half black and half Tommy Chong's daughter.
Yeah,
right.
Whatever he is, and he's got
Latino.
He's half of.
I don't know if he's from Mexico. I think he's from Mexico.
Yeah, she's half pothead, half black.
Well, descended from Mexico. Yeah.
Yeah. But I love
pothead.
Half pothead. That's all I think of anytime with Cheech and Chong. Like.
Well, that's what they're known for. Up and smoke, everything.
I mean, they were potheads before pot was cool. Like, well, I mean, not like it has never gone out of style, but it's way in style now.
Right now,
especially for those of us in Colorado. Like, it's come January. Good Lord,
you can buy it.
It's gonna be nuts. Like,
it's gonna boost our tourist trade.
Oh yeah, because there actually was a law, something too with the tourists. So you could actually sell to out of state. They had to actually do something about that you could sell to out of state.
But they can now.
Yeah. Good. But they, supposedly they can't take it out of state or whatever.
Well, yeah, of course not. You're not supposed to.
Whatever.
I wonder if you're flying from here to Washington, if you could.
If I could have it? I don't know.
That's because it's probably against the airline's policy, and it's interstate trafficking of drugs probably still, even though you're going from one legal place to another. I don't know. That's a gray area.
That's interesting. Huh. Well, I mean,
we'll have to research that.
We'll have to research, but even like medicinally, like,
right?
Could I take my medicines?
I think if it's a controlled substance that's prescribed, which it is, you can have it as long as it's got the proper labels and
But I'm able to take it wherever I decide to go, or
see that I don't know.
Because if I was going
like in Arizona, it's not legal to have.
If I went to Arizona or Texas, or
I think you can get there's some synthetic version of it that you can get anywhere. It's
okay. Oh, like
something
like
a hall or
THC.
Yeah, it's just like pure. It's just like it's a synthetic THC.
Oh, okay.
And it's a pill that you can take that's federally regulated. So, which means that it's not a controlled substance like a controlled like whatever those classifications are that heroin and all that are in.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
But it is a controlled substance where you have to have a prescription for it. But you can get that prescription in any state. It's FDA recommended and all.
Oh, speaking of heroin.
You got some?
No. And I've never, but I guess
me neither.
The guy from Glee.
Oh wow, yeah. They found heroin and alcohol.
Heroin and alcohol.
Corey Monteith or
Monteith. So it'll be interesting to see how. I still have a few episodes of Glee from last season that I haven't.
Yeah, I kind of fell behind.
I just kind of got tired of it. And it was just kind of.
It was all like it was supposed to be the Glee Club, and it was all Rachel and.
Yeah, it was. It's like who cares if
she's in college? Let her be.
Yeah.
Maybe occasionally she can pop in at like Christmas.
It could have been like Glee, the college years or something. But I mean, and half of them I assume graduated at the end of this season or something too.
I think several of them were sophomores, but I think this year the seniors are Brittany and I don't know who the other.
Like the wheelchair dude or something.
I think he's a senior too. Okay. Yeah, I'm not really sure though. Oops, sorry.
Pardon. That's okay. I know I put mine kept ding-a-ling-ing too. But no, I mean not to put light on the subject, but like Corey. I mean, it's sad. I mean,
he had just gotten out of rehab.
Yeah, he was out of rehab.
And apparently was doing really well. But there were witnesses that saw him have 3 beers. Imagine everywhere you go, people watching you. But there were witnesses that saw him have 3 beers at a place that night before he went back to the hotel room. And, he was alone and shot up and died.
See, yeah,
it's really sad. I mean, he had a lot going for him. Addiction's a bad thing.
Yeah, it's just something that's never interested me. Or like heroin, meth.
I would never try any of them. I mean, I've tried my things in the past, and I don't want to get into all that, but like there's nothing new that I haven't tried that I will try.
Right.
I mean, it's just not even worth it. I mean, because it's easy to get addicted to some things.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. I mean, and right now I just take a B12 here and there, and I mean that makes me feel like I'm cracked out. So you saw me.
I want to start. I did. You were like going all over the place.
Cracked out.
You had your party.
Holy shit. But yeah, so that's my drug of choice now is B12.
My drug of choice is 2 aspirin in the morning, every morning, and occasionally I'll take 2 Tylenol PM before I go to bed if my back's bothering me. So that's pretty much all I ever take. I mean, I have like bottles full of like Lexapro and like those things that they give me for my back that don't work. they used to make me go to sleep.
Yeah, see, I have some Vicodin from my doctor that, now. And
Vicodin, that's a whole other story. With one of these, I'd be feeling pretty.
I can't drink and do Vicodin.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Like,
that's how I fly. I drink, and I usually take like a Valium.
Oh, yeah, that's a good.
And then I will, or a Xanax, that's my favorite. And then I will sleep through the whole flight. And that is, I think I've said this before, but I'm a very nervous flyer.
Yeah.
Like overly nervous. Like I've seen too many Discovery Channel shows on like all this stuff that can go wrong, and like every noise I hear, I'm like, I saw that over the episode where they were flying over Hawaii and the roof lifted off. I'm all like,
exactly.
Like all those things go through my head when I'm flying. It's terrifying.
Well, I mean, and then we've had like a couple of, there's been a couple recent plane crashes.
Well,
like
the Asiana flight. You heard about the girl that was actually killed on the runway after she escaped from the plane because they had covered her with the foam that they were retardant, and when one of the fire trucks rushed in, they ran over her.
Oh no, I didn't know that.
Isn't that awful?
Oh, that's terrible. I mean, I of course had a really sick joke in my head about the Asian drivers and
oh no,
but, that was my first sort of thought. But then I was like, oh no, that's tacky.
Well, you saw the news station that's getting sued by Asiana Airways because they put up those racially insensitive names for the pilots. They said breaking news, and apparently somebody fact checked this for them. Okay, like they swear to that they would have. They weren't trying to be funny. They really thought it was. But one of the names was SUMTINGWONG. Something wrong.
Oh.
And like there was a couple other ones too. I don't remember the other ones.
Oh,
yeah, but like it was really bad and like so offensive.
No.
And apparently they're suing them now. They say they've irreputably damaged their image, their corporate image or whatever. So now, it was some TV station in the Bay Area, I think.
Yeah.
Like an NBC affiliate.
Oh no. So and then the Southwest Airlines, like it's landing gear, it's nose gear.
Collapsed on landing. Could you imagine that? Oh my god, that's terrifying.
I was on a plane that when we landed, 2 of the tires popped, and you could feel it. Like it was just boom, boom. Like you just heard this horrible pop. And they took us into the gate and everything, and because I guess the control tower or whoever, they actually like stopped us kind of on the runway, and I was like, oh, well, I guess so they were able to pull us and taxi us.
Well, yeah, because there was another plane landing like 2 minutes behind you.
So we had to.
They had it timed.
But yeah, it was crazy. It was the loudest pop I've ever heard. It was the loudest noise I've ever heard. I've been on a plane that, as we were taking off, one of the engines backfired. And this.
What does that mean? Like, did it die?
It's like a car backfire. That's exactly how it sounded. It was just this like, and the woman sitting next to me she just was like, oh my god, what the hell was that?
Oh my god.
We're all kind of looking around like, whoa,
I would be terrified. And it was fine?
And yeah, so we just kept going, and even the pilot came on like once we got to cruising altitude, and he's like, some of you, if you heard that noise as we were going up, he's like, it's like a car backfiring. He's like, everything's fine, otherwise we would have, spun around and landed, and well, thank goodness we didn't. And I always thought the woman that sat next to me, like to this day, either it was Sandra Bullock or this woman looked exactly like Sandra Bullock before she was. It was like even before Speed. So I don't remember what I knew Sandra Bullock from then, like maybe like Demolition Man or something.
Right.
But it was just this woman that sat next to me and just looked so much like her. And it's like to this day, I always kind of wonder, it's like, did I end up playing with Sandra Bullock before she was nothing?
That's kind of, you should like write her fan club. Yeah. And ask, be like, I was on a plane and the plane backfired and she thought we were going to die. Was that you?
Was that you?
Do you remember that all those years ago? Because she'd remember that.
Oh, probably.
You remember, you don't forget something like that when your life flashes before your eyes. You remember it.
She'd be like, were you the big queen next to me that screamed?
Were you?
I didn't scream. I was actually on another flight one time we had hit one of those air pockets and we kind of went down.
Oh, that terrifies me.
And like the guy next to me, he looked like this huge, big, butch football player guy. And we're just sitting there and it did that thing. And he literally reached over and like just grabbed my knee and like squeezed. And I was like, what the hell? And he was like, oh my God, I'm sorry. He's like, it just freaked me out. He's like, he was trying to reach for the armrest, but it just went right on.
And he wasn't letting go until we came to a stop.
I was just kind of laughing about it. I was like, oh my God. But yeah, it was fun. So
I hate flying. I would rather take a 4-day road trip. Dan hates me for it.
I don't know.
Because Dan's like, we could be there in 4 hours. I'm like, yeah, but think of all the cool stuff we could see along the way.
Well,
and he's like, you're safer on a plane. I go, yeah, but what if it's the lady next to me's time?
Right.
Then I'm screwed because I'm on that plane.
Screwed. But well, speaking of that, we should take a break and come back and talk about the 2 women that were lost.
Oh, the hikers.
Yes,
the hikers.
Let's
do that.
And then, so then we can talk about road trips.
We'll come back in 2 and 2, yes.
2 and 2. We'll be right back. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Anyways. Whatever.
Oh, if you only knew what happened on camera.
And we're back.
And we're back.
So what did you want to talk about?
Oh, well, you had talked about those, the 2 missing, they were missing hikers.
Yes.
And they were rescued.
So there was these 2 women in a place in Maine, like some outside park, kind of like right outside here, and they were hiking and they got lost and they called for help. Well, somebody in their boat found them like on shore and like called the police. The police came and got them and brought them to their car. They got in their car. As they're driving out of the park, the girl driving drives down a boat ramp thinking it's the road, and they die. They call 911 to say they're stuck in the car, but apparently they can't get out. Like they don't know how to get out. They didn't know they should roll the window down.
Oh my god!
And maybe they couldn't if the car had died or whatever. But they were trapped in there and they were talking on 911 and then the phone went dead. And they got to him very shortly thereafter, but they were dead.
But they had already...
like, that's just so tragic. Like, you almost get lost out in the middle of the desert, in the wilderness and die, and then you die after you get rescued. So when it's your time...
What a day for them.
Oh, my.
God, what a horrible...
What a horrible way to end the day. They probably thought everything was great. Apparently there were foggy conditions, and they said it wouldn't be hard to do.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah, because those boat ramps, really, sometimes you can't really tell. Unless it's
really,
like sunny day.
And it was dark. Maybe they should keep the boat ramps lit or something.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows?
Or have some sort of light. Well, they probably don't want someone knocking the light pole over, because I've seen a lot of people who can't back their boat down a boat ramp.
Right.
I'm not saying I could, but...
Yeah. I can, because I worked at U-Haul for so many years. Yeah. I know how to back up a trailer, so that helps me, but... I don't have to do it very often.
How fun. Yeah, no, that's not... I hate trailers and I hate all that shit. But
me too. That's why we pay people to move our things.
Exactly.
We don't do it ourselves.
Much easier to pay.
No, I wish I could do that.
Much easier to pay people to bring it and pick it up themselves and hurt their back.
I'm already stressing because I have to move next June.
Oh yeah, true.
I have to move next June, the end of next June, because Austin will be done with school, and my lease will be up, and I don't know that we're going to buy the house. So, I'm already starting to think, what can I pack up that I'm not going to need?
Oh, yeah.
I just want to start, boxing stuff and put it out in the garage so that it's not, such a panicked event when it comes to pass.
The day that it happens.
No, I mean, because, I could pack up half the kitchen. I truly could. It's stuff we don't use, I could pack up a lot of the stuff in the bathroom.
There's so much crap in, I think, in everybody's
in the
house.
closet,
there's so much crap that we keep walking through the house here, we should just toss this, we should toss this, we should throw that out.
Seriously.
It's like what we're not even using it. What do we need it for? Or we should sell it, or we should
do something. Have one of those companies come through that they list all your stuff and they sell it for a percentage. You tell them what you want to sell.
I'm going to sell the house. Just everything. I just want to do an estate sale. It's whatever you see here, go for it, take it, except for the plants.
$2? I'll take it.
$2 make you holla. I'm very bummed that Honey Boo Boo has started and I haven't seen an episode yet.
I'm not bummed about that at all.
I know. Everybody hates it. I tried to watch it last night, but I was yelled at.
I'm sorry. Everything on TV now is just shows how
far
we've sunken.
Yeah.
It's nothing but trash on TV. Did you see that? I'm going to get political for a second. Anthony Weiner, remember him?
Yes,
when he resigned from Congress, it was because he was sexting with some girl behind his wife's back and sending her naughty pictures. Well, he's admitted to doing it with 3 women since he stepped down out of office. And he's still running for the mayor of New York, and people are still going to vote for him. He says his personal life has nothing to do with it.
And his wife is there. It's kind of the same thing when Hillary was like at Bill's side.
I mean, I'm sorry though, but at some point, it just doesn't even matter that he's just totally unethical and immoral, and you vote him into office. And then you wonder why people act like that, and vote the way that they do and take our rights away.
I didn't mind getting the pictures.
You're terrible.
Well, I mean, I saw the one.
Did you see the Geraldo picture?
Yeah.
Geraldo Rivera 50 or 70
like
is the new 50?
I'm like, I'm sorry, but...
Wait, like that Comcast commercial? It's not.
It's not. No, there's a time and a place to take your shirt off, and it's not at 70 years old.
Well, and he had like just a towel, like you could see, like down to here. It was totes inappropriate.
Yeah, I was a little, and well, then I had gone through like another website that they had shown a bunch of other, older gentlemen who had their shirts off or whatever.
Right.
And it was like Simon Cowell, which. Not a bad.
He's not that old, is he? He's in his 50s.
His 50s.
Well, I
think that
he's
they were
70.
Saying, yeah, I think that's what they were. I think it was a bunch of guys that were in their 50s. But I mean, if they put up like Daniel Craig or Jason Statham, I mean, that's just not fair.
Right.
Like those guys must have been working out since they were like 2 years old.
Yeah, they're abnormally beautiful.
There's no way that.
Daniel Craig is beautiful.
Even at like our age, trying to work out. I mean, I know it happens, and you can. I also saw another article that our friend in San Diego, Aaron, posted about lighting and how they do like the before and after pictures. And this guy had done like a progression of pictures in different lighting, and supposedly it is just him. He's not a super buff guy, and he wasn't like super out of shape either.
Right.
But he made himself look like this entire spectrum of things, and it was a really interesting kind of thing to see, because I always thought that like those before and after pictures, I always thought that they got the before picture like way before, and then that person had an injury or something,
right.
And then okay, well now you've gained 10 pounds, and 10 pounds on 0% body fat is a pretty big change. So I mean, I've never believed those, or like the fad diets. I saw another fad diet someone was trying to get me to like on Facebook today. And I was just like, it's another one of the liquid.
Oh, yeah.
So, you're going to lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks, but then you're going to gain 20 because you're eating food again.
You go back to eating food, yeah. And your body's starved for calories.
I mean, I'm just not a big... And I've done fad diets. I did Atkins diet. I did. But, I mean, Atkins diet really isn't a super fad diet. I mean, it's kind of... It's
a lifestyle
You
choice,
can live
really.
your lifestyle by not eating carbs, by not doing... Which, I mean, sometimes Holden just drives me goddamn crazy about, that has too much carb in it, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, bitch, live. Like, just live a little.
It won't kill you occasionally.
It's not going to kill you. You can have a few carbs a week, but... Because Lord knows I have enough carbs.
I have plenty of carbs. I make a lot of pasta.
Yeah, so that's one thing that I've definitely shied completely away from. Like, and I don't miss it. Every once in a while I'll go out and get like a chicken parm at a restaurant, and it's so good, but I'm not going to come home and make a spaghetti again. Because I just, it's just something that I don't.
I got you.
I miss, like, I like a lot of rice, but I eat it on my sushi or.
Right.
So
I could eat rice just by itself.
I could
rice
too.
with a little bit of butter and.
I used to make that all the time, just rice and butter.
That's good.
And like red beans and rice. And
I love red beans and rice.
It's so good.
Popeyes has the best. Well, New Orleans has the best red beans and rice, but like here, Popeyes is really good.
Oh yeah.
I've had way better in New Orleans, but Popeyes it's still good.
Yeah, it was.
I read about that girl.
Recipe.
That girl, the black lady that does all their commercials. She's always like, new secret recipe.
Oh, right, yeah.
Her name is Queen Annie or Chicken Queen Annie or something like that. And like I was reading about it, I was just curious, and I was bored the other day. Apparently, I researched this, and like so many people are offended by those ads saying that they're so racist. They totally make her sound like a black stereotype.
Yeah.
And like, but then there's other people that are like, she reminds me of like all these women I knew back home in the South, and blah blah blah. So there's controversy over the church's chicken lady.
Church's chicken.
I mean, really?
Well, and then there's
people really have nothing better to worry about.
I mean, honestly, Aunt Jemima, come on.
What about her?
What was that? I mean, to me that's one of the most racist things that I thought that was extremely racist back in when I was.
Yeah, well now she's still Aunt Jemima, but she's she's got more. She doesn't have that
she doesn't have
the handkerchief or whatever. Yeah, on her head. She looks like a modern woman, so.
Yeah. And it's just a little much. And then there's the Quaker Oat dude.
Yeah, but that's okay.
I mean, he looks like a Quaker. I mean, he's a totally. Oh, I did see like some meme or something about Mimi. What do you call him? Meme. Internet memes. But it was some guy standing outside of like Cracker Barrel, and I think it was a joke. I mean, it had to be a joke. And he goes, "Oh, what's next? Like honky so and so," and I was like, "Dude, really?" Like, I mean, it had to be a joke. It just had to be a joke.
Is that what Cracker Barrel means? I mean, I assume Cracker Barrel. I don't know what it meant.
I don't know what it means, but Cracker it's definitely a slang term.
Well, I know what a cracker is,
Whitey,
but like when used on its own.
Yeah, but I don't know what Cracker Barrel means. Like,
I'm gonna have to Google that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do it right now.
Because I don't know. I don't think Cracker Barrel meant anything bad.
I don't know. I've never heard that.
I mean, honky. Holy crap! I can't even tell you how many people I've called honky. But they're just not words that are used anymore. Have you heard anyone call anyone a honky anymore?
Not since I watched reruns of the Jeffersons.
I haven't heard anyone call anyone the N-word except for Paula Deen, and then all the rap stars call each other it, but because it's somehow acceptable that way.
Characteristics of country life: Cracker Barrel philosophy.
Oh, okay.
Folksy humor. The air of homespun country wisdom.
Okay, so
I don't know.
I guess the meme that I saw was because the guy was like honky living or something.
I don't see anything that says that. But the Urban Dictionary calls it a large wooden structure filled with old white people.
Well,
and that's pretty true.
That's pretty true. Yeah.
I like Cracker Barrel though. I'll stop at it. I mean, there's Cracker Barrels here, but like we met Dan's dad there once when he comes down from Fort Collins. But generally, I'll only go to a Cracker Barrel when I'm on the road. You know, that's kind of one of those things you stop at on the road.
Remember Stuckey's?
Oh yeah, Stuckey's were everywhere. Do they even have those anymore?
There's substructures, kind of.
I wonder if
there's structures up, but I haven't seen like a Stuckey's.
I wonder if they're like just in the south or back east or in the west.
Because I remember when we had done a long. Oh, we were going to talk a little bit about road trips too. Well, we had done a long road, so we drove from here all the way to Sparta, North Carolina, to see my uncle out there, and I mean all the way. No. It was my family. It was my mom, dad, great grandparents. When you were kids. Yeah, I was. I
gotcha.
10 something, maybe 7, 8, 9, 10. I was little. My mom or uncle can comment on that and say how old I was, because that's who we went to see, was my uncle. But along the way, it was like Stuckey's was our stop, and we bought those banners of the state. So, you would kind of buy like the Kansas banner, the Tennessee banner, St. Missouri, whatever. I don't know what happened to any of those. I wonder what.
I'm gonna Google them right now and see if they're still around.
But I think there's some Stuckey's around. I mean, or you would buy that like the pecan log roll there.
Really, I don't remember that.
That was definitely a thing. So, but I remember, and this is probably the most unsafe trip because we're in this huge like Chevy Impala or Chevy,
like an old boat,
whatever the land yachts were.
Yeah.
So, and it's my dad and me and my great grandfather sitting in front, and then my grandmother, mother, and brother sitting in back. And I'm sure none of us had a seatbelt on.
Oh no, we used to ride the back of our station wagon like luggage. All the red states have Stuckey's.
Oh, all the red states. Okay,
so they're pretty much all in the south.
It's very much a big south.
I don't know if you guys can see it, but they're all in the south. Huh. Kansas has them, and I don't remember seeing one in Kansas.
Well, see, I think that's where I thought I had seen a couple still.
Maybe so.
As you're going barreling down I-70 trying to get through Kansas.
But. In Paxico, Kansas.
Oh, I'm not sure.
I-70 exit 338.
Oh, so that's beyond. That's beyond Salina and stuff, isn't it? Exit 338.
Yes.
Yeah, because
it's closer to like Kansas City area.
Yeah. Okay, because I turn it.
I usually turn in Russell.
Oh yeah.
Like 281.
In Russell. Yeah.
I always turn at Russell.
I actually had a friend today who was on the journey there, and we were like texting each other a couple times, and I was like, "Oh, don't stop at the Ford shop." He's like, "That place." Because
Sharon knows where they are.
Like, that place just looks creepy, but it's just this weird, crazy adult video store in the middle.
Semi trucks always pulled in there.
Every time I have seen it, and because I've looked. Of course, I've looked. I think I've pulled off the exit one time, and kind of went over there to see, because I was curious and I was young and just coming out, and I heard things about bookstores, and I got over there, and there was like 2 cars in the parking lot, and I kind of like freaked out and just got back on the highway. But I mean, I'll still kind of like peek over, and I don't see anything parked there anymore. Is there a behind it parking lot that I'm not seeing?
I can't answer that.
Because it's kind of in the part, it's almost in the part when you finally get into like some rolling hills kind of area in Kansas. So it's like the trip is a little bit better again. It's not just like the plains and there's nothing there. And then they also have now the wind farms that are out there.
Yeah, those are cool to watch.
That's really cool to see. Which, I mean, you shouldn't be looking at stuff.
But they're off in the distance, so it's not like you're staring off the road. You can be staring ahead and see them.
I remember the first time that I came over that hill and saw those big wind things.
It's really cool.
Wow,
it's like Kansas, all modern, like with the Kansas is the perfect place for it. It's super windy there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think that like my whole thing is
that's because there's nothing there to block it.
There's nothing. There's no tree. They were all clear cut, and that's what caused the Dust Bowl. Them cutting all the trees away. That's why every mile in Kansas, you see like out in the country, you see those rows of trees.
Oh,
you know, they're the wind breaks. They help keep the soil from getting pulled up. But oh gosh, what was I just gonna say about that? I don't remember. Dang it. So frustrating.
Some sort of Dust Bowl thing.
Well, no, it was a Dust Bowl, but that was just a different tangent. I don't remember what I was going to say, but nonetheless.
I mean, I always like when you're going through and it's like so-and-so astronauts from here and so.
Oh, yeah, and Bob Dole's from Russell. Bob Dole is Bob Dole.
Bob Dole, there. God damn, he's still alive, isn't he?
He is still alive, and so is Elizabeth.
Oh, well, she was much younger, I thought.
Oh, was she? I don't know.
She looked.
And he's still a senator, right, Bob Dole?
I really don't know.
I mean, we're so bad at politics, we should know that.
The only one that I wish would just go away is McCain. I just can't stand ever looking at that man. But anyway,
he's an American hero.
Yeah, I somehow people still love him, but I don't know. That's my view on politics is just blah. With Rick Perry not gonna run again, I'm fine with that.
In 16 months, Texas will be free.
Yeah.
But they'll have another Republican. It's Texas.
Yeah, they'll have another Republican because they've had the Bushes.
I've got to admit, though, my friend runs this thing on Facebook called Consciousness Colorado, and she also has another page. Oh, I wish I could remember right now so I could plug it. My friend Holly. But anyways, she's got this other page, and she's always posting these things that make you think. And like, really, we have given up so many of our rights, and people that we vote into office are taking away our rights.
That's true.
And like, we're just oblivious to it.
Well, no one ever understands. Like, no one. So many people. Like, my problem with American politics, period. Just Americans that vote. I mean, they vote along their party line. They don't actually look at what their politician is for or what their politician has done in the past. I mean, I've voted against people that were on my party line.
Same here.
Because they had.
I research the issues that are important to me, and I see what they think about them before I vote.
So if only everybody would do that, but what are you going to do? It's like...
I mean, I don't look up every issue, just the ones that are important to me. I'm not going to pretend like I'm all super political.
We had talked about it before, but it's like, I mean, I had some friends that were doing, the Chick-fil-A crap.
Which I still choose not to go there.
Yeah, I choose not to go. But I mean, they were saying, it's a freedom of speech. I'm like, no, it's not. I'm like, look at the whole issue. I mean, I go to Hobby Lobby, and God knows Hobby Lobby is doing whatever against all the gays.
And against healthcare, and against a lot of things in the name of religion.
Yeah, Hobby Lobby is, an asshole. But I still go there.
Well, you know what bothers me the most? Like, all these people use religion to get their way, but Jesus said in the Bible, render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, render unto God what is God's. In other words, live under the law of the land. If that's the law of the land, then you have to pay for birth control.
Exactly.
God's not going to send you to hell for that.
No.
Because he told you to do that, It's ridiculous. I'm just so done with the whole religious right. Like, I really am. There's a lot of let me say that there's a lot of very good religious people out there.
Oh, there are.
I know so many of them. But they're not the ones you see on TV and the news, that are all pushing their agenda.
I mean, speaking of that, wasn't that also something that we were trying to get away from the British from?
Absolutely. Freedom of religion.
Yeah.
And you are free to have your religion, but it's still, we don't live in a religious controlled country. It's a secular government. And that was the point of this government. So people could be free.
Yeah.
And now, like, they just don't see that, and like, it's just ridiculous. They so many politicians, like Pat Robertson, they're just crazy and out there.
Oh, yeah.
There were some good ones out there, but, I just have a hard time with all these super big churches and televangelists on TV and stuff that are raking in millions of dollars when Jesus wouldn't have been doing that. He'd be like out on Colfax right now, working with all the prostitutes and crackheads on East Colfax. You know, he wouldn't be in some $1 million church and driving around in a nice car and wearing Armani.
Not have to pay taxes, not have to do...
Just ridiculous. You know, and they do get religious protection. I was going to bring that up. And they don't pay taxes because of that, because they're a non-profit organization, their religion. But then they think that they can push their views on the rest of society.
Right.
And that is not right.
It's not right.
You know, you're more than welcome to believe whatever you want. And I have no problem with that. If you want to believe unicorns are God, you can do that. That is what this country is based on. You can believe in whatever you want, and I will support you. You know, like, remember we were talking at your party the other night? Holden had a birthday party one time at one of the local bars here in town. It was an outside cocktail party. And your friend that you went to high school with that lives down in the Springs, him and his wife. I don't want to say names, but you know who I'm talking about. She was an atheist, and she found out I believed in God, and then she expected me to, like, lash out at her. I'm like, she's like, oh, you don't judge me? And I go, well, no, of course not. You're free to believe whatever you want.
Yeah.
I go, you know, I believe what I want. And I go, you don't judge me, I don't judge you. I go, that doesn't make you a bad person because you don't believe in God. I don't think so. I think you can be totally moral and not believe in God, and you can be totally immoral and believe in God.
Exactly.
You know, so, like, and she was kind of surprised to hear that from I'd say religious. I'm hardly religious, but somebody that believes in God.
Right.
You know, like, she was surprised to hear that. And, like, that's the problem with a lot of people that believe in God is that they don't say things like that. They do judge people, and so people are turned off by it. A whole young generation isn't going to church.
Oh, God, no.
You know, a whole young generation. They're losing out.
There's hardly anybody going to church, but... So, well... On that note,
oh my gosh, it's always so dramatic when we talk about politics.
So dramatic at the end. Like, I mean, if you made it this far, it's always like,
no, we didn't, but we did.
You're like, we didn't.
Well, thanks for sharing your living room.
Yes.
I'm totally okay. Just so you know, before we close it out, you can't just take a clipping of a fern and put it in water. I would have done that. You actually have to split the fern at the base because that's the only way you're going to get roots. And so I'm waiting for Holden. He keeps saying, "Oh, these are too big. They need to be split." Well, he hasn't done it yet. But when he does it, I'm getting like a quarter of a quarter of a quarter. I don't care if it's this big, because it'll eventually get that big.
Well, no, I know there's a few people that want it. Yeah, and Heather,
Heather does too, who's not here again on a Thursday.
You know what? I actually didn't.
She knows it's a standing thing for Thursday.
Whatever.
When you watch this, you will remember.
I didn't talk to her this week and remind her, but it's.
And she's coming Saturday?
I believe so, yes.
To your little get-together. You're having a get-together.
Have a little get-together. And that'll be on the next episode you guys see. We'll have a little episode of the Christmas in July party that is happening here at House of McGoodies.
House of McGoodies. I'm excited.
So, okay, speaking of House of McGoodies, like, what is all this HAUS? Why the hell does everybody have, like, House of Steel, House of this, House of that?
Isn't that just, like, German for house? Like, or Norwegian or something? Like, I don't...
We are American.
Maybe it's ultra cool. I don't know.
American. We got away from the... Stop speaking British. I actually had to take the English... keyboard off of my phone because it would change everything. I would like accidentally be on the English keyboard,
like from England.
Yeah, and it would change. Like if I said favorite, it would do the OUR. You know.
Oh my! Oh yeah.
I was like, why are you saying I'm spelling it wrong? You stupid iPhone. Fuck you, sorry.
She sucks. So, I still have my Android.
Yeah. No. Anyway.
All right. Well, thank you for watching. Don't forget to check out our sponsors. Email, Twitter. Let us know what's going on.
And yeah, so we'll see you. I guess next time.
We'll see you guys next time.
So bye-bye. Good night. Bye. Thank you.
It's so ladylike. So ladylike.